for the first meeting. I will tell you, first thing is that we are being videoed. And for those of you who are new, last year we started with the help of our wonderful videographer, Gita Suggs, videoing the meetings, and we post them on our page on the Keeling, KeelingHornets.org website. So people who are unable to make the meeting can watch. And it's a wonderful service. Gita does, I think, would like to be relieved of this. No? You don't want to sell, you don't want a new person? Okay.
She's good.
That's good. She is great.
Thanks for your coffee.
Okay, so anyway, anything you say will be there for posterity. So just be aware. So my name's Amy Warr, and I'm one of the co-chairs of KMag. KMag is our parent organization that takes care of the needs of the specific needs of the magnet program. We also have a PTA at Keeling, and they're responsible for the whole school. So two parent organizations with slightly different focuses. This is Melissa Myers, or Melissa, you can introduce yourself.
Melissa Myers. I'm now going into my children are going into their second year of Keeling, and this is a great organization. I'm glad so many people are here. We have lots of volunteer opportunities for y'all, so hopefully you guys will find some time in your year to help out. And Mary Elise, would you like to?
No.
No, you don't have to.
My name is Mary Elise Kelly, and I have a 7th grader here at Keeling, and this is my first year on board, and I'll be the secretary, and I also have a sophomore, Alasa, who went through Keeling.
So she's experienced. If anyone has any questions about what happens after Keeling, she'll be the one to answer.
Hi. I'm Jenny Floyd. I'm the new assistant treasurer, and I also have a 7th grader here at
Thank you.
Our treasurer is Ken Habernack, and he could not make it this morning, kind of on the spur of the moment. So I'll give the treasurer's report, and it will be a little, not quite as good as when Ken gives it, but I'll do my best. And I have an 8th grader, and she's my second child to go through Keeling. Our principal, we're a little out of order here on our agenda because there is an assembly right now where Diane Carter and Robin Lowe are, so they'll be trickling in a bit. So we will move all that to the end of the meeting. Does anyone who was here in May, if you've had a chance to read the minutes, I'll give you a few minutes to read the minutes, or maybe we'll put that till later since there are quite a few of them, but if you would do that, and I'll come back to that later. Kendall Pace, Kendall, are you here? Okay, these are our committee reports. There's going to be a book fair at Book People. Hopefully y'all saw that in the Hornet Herald, where you go and you buy your books for the year. And KMag gets 20% of that, so we highly encourage you to go out there to Book People between September 7th and September 13th, and there's a flyer that's both on our webpage and attached to the Hornet Herald, and it'll go out again. You just have to take the flyer, and all that money will go back to KMag, and that's the same week as Back to School night. For fundraising, is Michelle here? Michelle Fisher? Okay, we'll be getting our fundraising letter, KMag's fundraising letter. We'll be getting that out at Back to School, hopefully.
Can I go back to the Book People thing really fast?
Yes,
for
you may.
New 6th grade parents, on your syllabuses that you got from your teachers, well, your kids got from their teachers, probably says you need to buy some books. Book People does a really great job of actually making a table with all of the Keeling stuff. So if you just walk in and say, hey, I'm looking for the Keeling books, they have a display up on the 2nd floor, and it's by grade, and you just go, kind of like college, you just go buy your books and show them the flyer, and then we get 20% of that. You have to buy the books anyway, so it really helps out.
And you have to have your flyer?
Supposedly you do need to have your flyer to get the 20%. They were kind of lenient last year. I don't know if they're going to be this year.
You behind the counter, but you have to at least ask for it, but
Yeah.
they may or may not do that.
Thank you, thank you. Jenny, do you have anything to say about book club? Well, can you explain what book club is?
So we've been meeting just a couple of times a semester, and we've had some book out for discussion. So we give you all about a month to read it. And historically, last year, most of the people who attended book club had not read the book, but we had some really good discussions anyway. So there'll be a little more information forthcoming. But it's a good time to actually meet some of your fellow KMag parents. And there's a book that anyone's interested in doing, just let me know. But we should have more information out this
And Ms. Carter, our magnet director, has chosen a book that she will lead the discussion on later this fall. So, you know, then that book's available at Book People. So, you know, if you want to make a good impression on our magnet director, read the book and come to the discussion. Exactly. Rachel, are you here for Choice Fair? Okay, this is an area, these are all committees that, for KMag, and a lot of them are committees on which we need volunteers, and this is definitely a big one. You know, as many of you know, you went through this, you've been to the Choice Fair, you've come to the Magnet Showcase, there are a lot of parent volunteers that help with that, and so we'll be asking for volunteers for that later, and that's a good opportunity to volunteer. As is the Magnet Office and Teacher Support. Julie, are you here? Yay. Julie Pastor. A long-time Keeling parent.
This is my 9th year, my last year. Two things I want to go over. One thing that we do is we do teacher support, and really all we teacher and magnet office support. I'm going to send around this list. It's an occasional volunteer list. If you will put your name and email on it. Sometimes I send out an email that says we need somebody or several people to come in and do packets for the office, or they're going to take the administrative staff out to lunch, so we need someone to answer the phones. It's small, last-minute kinds of things, so if you can, we'll pass this around if you want to sign up for that. And then on my PTA side, we do a secret PAL program for the teachers where a family will adopt a teacher, and we ask that 4 times a year you give a little gift to the teachers. And I'll put information in the Hornet Herald about that. And they fill out an information sheet with their favorite things. And I will put a sign-up sheet for Sign Up Genius, I think. And it won't be listed in this weekend's Hornet Herald, but it will be in the next weekend's Hornet Herald.
Okay. And Julie, I have a list for you.
Okay.
Remind me.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyone from field trip? Gita, do you want to say anything about the 7th grade field trip? I mean, I don't know. You probably don't know anything yet,
I don't know anything about the 7th grade field
okay.
trip.
So we have our volunteers.
There will be one.
We have a parent help the teachers coordinate each field trip. The 6th grade field trip, because there's a big field trip every year. So the 6th graders, 7th graders, 8th graders will each go on one, and we have a parent help the teachers do really whatever they need. Get snacks, make a spreadsheet of which kid is getting on which bus, things like that. So that will probably require a few volunteers also. And then our last committee is the New Parent Reception Committee. Brooke, do you want to say a word about that? It's a long. Just say what it is.
Okay.
It's fresh in your mind.
It is fresh in my mind. So the new parent receptions, you guys all went to them during the math test. So in April, I will hopefully recruit a lot of you to be volunteers to come and talk about your child's experience at Keeling. We talk about things like transportation, homework, extracurricular activities, school life balance, the transition to middle school, adolescence. And our big goal in the new parent receptions is not to give the expert opinion, but rather to give first person sort of like testimonials. Because it is a very reassuring way of helping new students to Keeling and their parents feel like the transition's a little bit easier, because everybody's got a burning question. So come April, once admissions are done, you'll be hearing from me in the Hornet Herald about getting volunteers for that. We do 4 receptions. It's usually 2 on one Saturday, 1 on another Saturday, and then a makeup one on after school. So it's about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour time commitment once if you help me with my thing. And you get cookies.
I skipped over our most volunteer intensive, I think, volunteering function, which is shadowing. Is there anyone here from, well, I guess Brooke's here. Tracy, yay. Tracy Jed is our new shadowing chair, yay, and it's a huge job. Did you want to say anything about it, or do you want me to?
Well, we're just going to kick off a meeting next week about it,
Yeah.
so I know about 0.
Right, okay, that's what I was thinking. So that's fine. Tracy is going to be amazing at it, but it requires so many volunteers because, and you know, if your kid shadowed, you may have an idea, but just organizing the 500 kids to come shadow is a huge thing, and behind the scenes, and it's completely parent done, and it wouldn't happen without a lot of volunteer time. And it's important, we think it's important to let students get an actual taste of Keeling, so we're committed to making that happen. But yeah, there will be a great need for volunteers on that come January, February. Okay, so Ms. Lowe and Ms. Carter are here, so let's go to the principal's report.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm Robin Lowe, the principal here, starting my 3rd year here at Keeling. I'm so excited. Honestly, we have had such a smooth start to the school year. I hope that the scheduling process went smoothly for you when we picked up schedules beforehand. This was our first year to do that, so we figured out a few kinks that we had. And we hope to make the process a lot smoother next year, but I was really pleased with how it went. I was excited to let the kids see their schedules ahead of time so they wouldn't be so nervous about coming in that first day. Other than this has been a remarkable summer. Ms. Carter and Ms. Faley have worked really hard on some continuity and bringing this school together. We have our first foray into some mixed electives where we're taking a magnet advisory and an academy advisory, and we're team teaching with a magnet teacher and an advisory teacher. So we're really excited about that. We have a lot of work that we're doing this year. We're going to continue our collaboration with the African American Cultural Heritage District. This is, as you know, Keeling sits in the historic African American Center of Austin. And last year we started our collaboration with them and helped them with their website that they're about to launch. And it's going to be a media event, and we're going to actually launch it from Keeling in a few weeks. And we're really excited that our students provided a lot of the information that will be found on that page, that our students started taking trips around East Austin to learn the history, the deep cultural history that we have here. And we're going to continue that collaboration this year. So I'm really excited about that. Do you have any questions for me today?
When are you going to be working on schedules for next semester? My son ended up with advanced robotics on A days and B days, so one of those has to go.
Yeah, and those will be, I'm going to wait and let Ms. Carter address that because she and Ms. Faley are working on that, so I'll let her address the timeline for schedules.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us when we're going to be getting information on sort of the parent cloud / team / whatever this thing has become now?
Well, that came down from the district. The district decided, you know, we had some issues with the old grade book program that we had. It didn't necessarily talk with teams very effectively. From the parents' perspective, y'all didn't see that, but we saw it if a student changed classes. When we were trying to run report cards, that's where we saw the interface issues. So they went with the gradebook program within teams that teams already had. We're still learning it too. I'm going to be honest with you. If you will go, do you know, have you logged into the parent cloud?
That was what I was going to say is, you know, some of us had full access last year and were logged in and could get to at least the part we had access to. I found, at least I can't get into anything now, but we're being told that's where to go for information. So.
Right. So once you log into the parent cloud, and what I'm going to ask you to do is contact Dee Gonzalez.
Okay.
She's our parent support specialist, and she is really good at this. She can help you. Also, my secretary, Kendra Wheeler, can help walk you through that as well. Once you get into the parent cloud, I think you're going to find it more user-friendly. Your lunch account's in there for every child. You don't have to go to multiple places for each child. Your transportation is all in that one spot, so it's kind of like this one stop shopping.
I've been there before.
Oh, good. But for now, for some reason, you can't get into it. Yes, ma'am.
I've been checking every hour because I'm neurotic, and I got in last night about 7, 8 o'clock last night, and I can see grades, and they're in there. It's very convoluted. You go to Parent Cloud, then you have to go to Parent Self-Serve, then you go to Teams, you have to log in again, and then you find the grades.
It opens up new browsers every time.
Yeah, it opens up new browsers.
Honestly, I did not realize it was this convoluted.
Yeah, it's very convoluted.
Because
And
the way it was explained to us was that it was just gonna be, you go into the cloud and you could click on grades. So what we'll do is, we'll put together a one-page kind of cheat sheet.
Yeah.
And I'll send it out and we can put it on the listserv, we'll put it on the website, so that if you have issues with it or concerns, you'll be able to reference that one pager. How would that be? I'll ask my secretary to put that together for us today, and we should have it done by the end of the day, guys.
Ms. Lowe, is it still possible just to go log on GradeSpeed?
No, GradeSpeed's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not for us too, I loved it. It was so easy for me to navigate.
Just a caution, thanks to Gita, I figured out the secret passageway into this new system. But you should know, your username and password could be different than the cloud. I just kept trying different combinations and I finally found one that worked. So just be patient with it. You'll get in. It could be the same match as your parent cloud, or it could be different.
So I can't add my child. I could add my second graders, but not my seventh graders. So I think that she must be wrong in the database or something. Do you know the person to contact?
You need to contact the help desk for that if it's your second grader.
Well, no, I can enter my second graders. I cannot enter my seventh grader.
Okay,
And
then
it's just saying, nope, never heard of her.
you can check with Dee, but also the help desk. I know if you tried the help desk last week, you probably kept getting a busy signal. Because what you need to know is, all the teachers were calling the help desk too, because they're trying to learn this new system as well. So I'm just, within about a week, the help desk should calm down a little bit. So hopefully we'll get all that straightened out, but we will get a one-pager that at least can walk you through the process. Any other questions? Help desk, Ms. Wheeler, or Ms. Gonzalez, okay? Because I promise you, Ms. Wheeler and Ms. Gonzalez will find an answer for you if they can't help you. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, some of us are also coming over having been in Living Tree before, and so that's familiar, but are you also going to be initiating that for the school? I mean, how is that going to roll out for us?
I'm going to let Ms. Carter address that too. She's our Living Tree coordinator. And we had, let me kind of explain, because Keeling is so unique, right, with our different programs, the way it was initially going to roll out, it was going to be separate, and we didn't want that. We want it to be one Living Tree for the campus, but then you drill down to your classes and your child, okay? So when we made that change, we thought we were going to be able to let you guys come in at that schedule pickup, log in and do everything. So we realized we weren't going to be able to do it that way, and we were going to have to push out an email to you with a code, and that'll be coming next week.
Okay.
And Ms. Carter will explain more about that. Yes.
I will say that the Teams people have told us, and I work at Garza High School, that using Google Chrome is the way to go. For whatever browser you're used to using, if you use Google Chrome, Teams is much friendlier with that than any of the others.
Please pardon a quick interruption. Teachers, if you have yet to take attendance for advisory, please log on and do so now. Again, please log on and take attendance. Thank you.
Well, I am so excited that you are trusting your babies to us here at Keeling. I know it's hard to let go in middle school, but I promise you, you are going to live through this time, and when you come out on the other side, you're going to be so relieved. A few more gray hairs, a few more wrinkles, but it'll be okay. If you have any questions or concern, you can always contact myself or Ms. Carter. We have 3 brand new counselors this year. They're all in that expectation assembly at the moment, but they are wonderful. They're great with the kids. We have Ms. Lopez at 6th grade, Mr. Aparicio at 7th grade, and Ms. Hirsch at 8th grade. So anything you need, just let us know. We're here for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Carter?
All right. Good morning. So first of all, I just have to say that this is beautiful. I love that all of you guys are here, and I already said to someone this morning, it's I feel like I've been here forever, but I keep remembering periodically that this is the first time I've been through a fall here as well. So any Any 6th grade parents out here? Yeah, first time through a fall here at Keeling? Yep, I'm right there with you. So in fact, I emailed yesterday to someone that the learning curve is still steep, but it's not straight up and down anymore. So anyway, so Ms. Lowe stole several things that I was going to say, but I do want to kind of add to a few things that she mentioned. First, she talked some about the blended advisories, and I just wanted to kind of elaborate on that a little bit and share that a lot of that stuff is coming from comments from kids and some parents, and then also teachers. And that's the fact that I had a kid come in my office one day last spring and just say, you know, why don't we have more classes where it's all the kids together? It's like, I really wish we had more classes like that. I really appreciate that time. And I was like, interesting. So, you know, I appreciate that. And, you know, we are 2 programs, but we are also 1 school. So we're trying to find those perfect little opportunities to give our kids a chance to learn as much as they can from each other. So that's so the blended advisory she mentioned. And then I don't know if any of your kids realized it, but during the 6th grade transition camp, there was actually a portion of that where our PE teachers did some team building stuff with both programs together. And PE is one of those places where we do have, it's just everybody all together. There's no, you know, no distinction. So, so we thought that was a nice opportunity to go ahead and start some of those introductions. And actually it was kind of cool. I had 3 young men that are 7th graders this year help out with the 6th grade transition camp, and quite honestly, I don't know what I would have done without them. They came in, and first they offered me some feedback from last year, and it was very entertaining and awesome. And then I shared with them those plans to have that together time, and they were like, oh man, that's awesome, I wish we had that. So anyway, I'm pumped about that, and really appreciate the fact that, I mean, this is something that I certainly agree with, but I love that it's coming from our kids and our teachers, especially our kids. I mean, they're the whole reason we're here, so I think that's pretty cool. And then I also wanted to share, we spent some time as a faculty working with Angela Ward during that in-service week, and the topic was cultural proficiency, and 2 pieces of, well, the end of that time together, we worked in groups to basically make recommendations for things that we should do. And there were 2 that really stood out that I wanted to share with you guys. And one is there were quite a few groups that were pretty pumped about working towards more problem-based learning or project-based learning. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Here, and don't tell the teachers, okay? Oh, they're going to watch this, aren't they? I'm just kidding.
They don't have time.
I know, right? Especially right now, there's no way. I don't think I have to worry about it. But no, I'm going to throw it out there to our magnet teachers here in a couple of weeks once we get in the groove, and see who kind of wants to spearhead that. But I'm really excited about that. I think it's a great way for kids to learn. And then the other thing was they wanted to really make an effort to reach out to our elementaries who are underrepresented. So I thought that was pretty cool. Those 2 were big things that stood out in the teacher collaboration time. So I just thought I would share that with you guys. And you know, y'all want to know where I came from or anything?
Yes,
we
we
all-
do.
Sure.
Yeah. I just realized I didn't start with that, and I really meant to. It's like when I was at A&M in grad school the first time around for a master's in motor learning, which is somewhat useless, but anyway, I digress. So I taught tennis classes and badminton classes, and I realized after the whole first day of class once, I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm Diane. I totally forgot to even tell them my name. So anyway, so clearly I went to A&M, and I stuck around there for a bachelor's and master's, then swiftly came to Austin. My career has been, actually it started right here at Keeling back in 1999, and I spent 2 years here, and then went from here to Aikens High School, and taught mostly science there, but really a little bit of everything. I was there as a part of the founding faculty, which was an amazing experience, all the way through 2008. Was one of the main folks in charge of the whole redesign process there. And then I went from there, I got my first gig as an assistant principal at Westlake High School, and spent 5.5 years there until I came here in January. So I've seen quite the variety of kids and parents and teachers, and I feel actually really fortunate that I've had the opportunity to work with so many different people. I've definitely learned a ton every step of the way. So I'm super excited to be. I actually did kind of get teary as I drove away from the interview here back in whatever month that was, November I think, or October. Anyway, because it's really, I don't know, it's exciting to be kind of full circle. It's really, really cool to be here, and I've so enjoyed the folks that I've worked with. This is a place with absolutely amazing people. I'd say that about kids, parents, teachers, counselor, everybody. I'm pretty blown away. So Ms. Lowe said I would say something about Living Tree. So you guys will receive an email next week. When you get that email, it'll be from Living Tree. When you get that email, all you'll have to do is click, and it'll walk you right through exactly what you need to do, which I have been assured will not be torture. Nothing like the cloud, apparently. And then you will be all set. And this tool is something that is, it allows two-way communication between, between us and parents and kids, or teachers, between teachers and parents and kids. It basically creates a family for the Keeling crew. Now, as far as how teachers are going to use Living Tree, I'll be honest, you're going to have a range. We are going to ask teachers to use it at bare minimum. We're going to ask them to have their calendar on Living Tree, and the big reason for that is you can also have an app on your phone, and you go to Living Tree and you look at the calendar, and you can have, you and your kid can have everything right there all together. So you don't have to go to 5 million different places to go, oh, well, what homework do I have in geometry? Well, I need to go to this site. Oh, well, what about, oh, I've got to go to this site, et cetera, et cetera. So we're gonna ask them to bare minimum at least use a calendar. We've got some teachers that are, I just got an email yesterday, and I love this. The email was, it really seems like Living Tree does everything I want it to. I need, do I really have to still have a website? So some are gonna use it even more than others, but we will at least ask for that calendar function so that we consolidate for you. And then just so you know, once you're hooked in, you can add users as a parent. You can add your spouse, you can add your other kids, you can add whomever. And it can be used as a tool for you as a parent to communicate within your family as well. So just throwing that out there.
Does it get pushed out separately to the kids?
The kids, yes. Yeah, we'll do that. In fact, we're pretty sure we're going to be able to just automatically add them to every single class.
But some of
Pretty
them have
sure,
already gotten
99.9.
those teachers. Yeah.
Right, some teachers have already pushed out and added kids, absolutely. Yes, Megan?
I didn't know anything about living free other than that term. I have no idea what it was until you just, so I'm guessing what you're saying is this is a Keating specific tool? And if so, or if not, doesn't matter, but anyway, our kids are going to benefit from this tool. Is it a consolidation of all their courses and at least the calendars that the teachers set up? Is that basically what's the
That's
purpose?
that's the
purpose
bare
is-
minimum benefit, yes.
So would that sort of perhaps potentially improve some of the project coordination? As we move into the middle of the semester, we always hear how large projects all come together, homework or field trip, things. So is that part of the goal? Because from what you were saying, the kids still have to check the teachers' websites.
Possibly.
To make sure the assignments are there, they get everything. That's how my daughter would do anyway.
Okay.
So unless everything is in one place, then she would still be.
To talk about like the whole coordinating of projects and everything, just so you know, this is related but slightly different. That is something that that I noticed or I heard a lot about last spring. That we've already started conversations about as a staff is how to each grade level team has developed their own way to figure out how to be sure that we don't overlap as much. I'm not going to say it's never ever going to happen with any two classes because that's, whew, man, that might be tough. But it is something that we're conscious of and aware of that we're definitely going to work on. So, I don't know where other over here. Y'all arm wrestle to see who's going to.
My understanding was a big part of Living Tree was supposed to be a two-way, so you could have two-way communication. And do you know how that works? Like, does it get pushed to email? Or I'm probably using the wrong terminology here, but
Yeah, when you set up your account, you can tell it if you want to get email notifications or push notifications like it's not really a text, but like CNN gives you.
can you have it be just from the teacher? Because
What do you mean?
Mr. Applegate had this thing last year, and if you got email, like I didn't sign up for the email pushes or whatever, but my son had it, and his whole email box would fill up like daily with like kids like going, "Pussycat laughs," or I mean like just dumb stuff that the kids were like putting out there like tweets or something.
You can choose to not get emails.
But I would want to get the email if it's from the teacher.
I'll have to. I'm not positive if you can distinguish. I would have
That's
to look.
critical.
Yeah, I got
For
you.
two-way communication, if there's some way to configure it that you guys can get ahead of before this whole thing rolls out, it'd be really good.
So teacher only. Now, I will say this. So the communication through Living Tree is not, I mean, you can do like a private message. Hello, I can't talk. Private message if you'd like to, but the normal form through Living Tree is more like a Facebook sort of thing. Like you have a post and then people comment on it and all that good stuff. I have access to be able to delete anything. So if you ever see something you think isn't okay, just let me know, and I can click on the little X. So here, let me write down teacher only email alert.
Because also with that commenting, I cannot tell you how prolific those kids were.
Oh, I know.
So it's gonna,
Yeah.
it's just gonna fill up, even on the
Maybe you can turn off
Facebook
service.
thing, it's gonna fill up.
And they already are, Mr. Applegate's class is off to the races already.
I think that my son, so I had a question about Living Tree too, because my son got a thing to sign up for, I think it was Mr. Applegate's class actually.
Probably.
But he
He's
already
like,
has
right.
got like about 20 emails in his email about it. And I'm noticing he's having to give his email to all the teachers too, which I wish it was a less unfortunate email that he'd chosen address. But I'll have to talk with him later. So he's already got a whole bunch of emails, and I'm a little concerned about keeping up with email because he doesn't actually check it. It's not like in his whole, like, you know, maybe if his teacher sent him an Instagram, he would, but that would be the only way he can see it.
Yeah.
But then it said something on there about us signing up, parents signing up for it, which I didn't try to do because I know we're going to get a code from you all. But when we sign up for it, will it link us to like Mr. Applegate's page and everything else?
You'll have, there's a place where you can click on it, says enter code. And so if you're signed up already, like some of us
Well, we
might
did
have
it for my son.
Yeah.
I'm not signed up.
But
he
if you
is.
were already,
Yeah.
you'll get a code from, let's say, 3 teachers, and you'll just go click enter code and enter that code, and it'll put you into their classroom bucket, sort of.
Okay.
And then you'll have Mr. Applegate's classroom, somebody else's, and then you'll be able to manage however you can from there.
Okay.
Question at the back. For those. No, go ahead. The lady, you're standing up? Yeah, you've been waiting.
So some of us had experience with Living Tree from last year, and I gotta say, the best thing about graduating from elementary school was seeing Living Tree go away. So, some of us have had some very negative experiences with it. My understanding is that you cannot select teacher only.
Yeah.
And that in elementary school, it was mostly parents, and we were bombarded with, in my experience, emails from other parents. So now it's going to be students too, I guess.
Yeah,
So
that's a nightmare.
I would just like to have an opportunity at some point down the road to be able to provide feedback on this system. Yeah. And there's a lot of folks in the room here who are like, stand up, yes, you know, they're with me on this. I'm not alone.
Yeah.
With her.
Yeah, if it's anything like Applegate's
And a lot of
site.
folks, I guess, who don't want their kids on it. So last year, it was really just parents and teachers on it. So I don't know, that's a whole nother layer that I don't really know, but.
I think the filter thing is a good point. Yeah, and last year it was fairly new, and the Living Tree people took feedback and were interested in adapting to things. So I think that filter point on being able to select how you get, I mean, clearing out the student part of it from the feeds or whatever is really important. Yeah, because again, elementary kids were not on it emailing.
Now, other person at the back who.
Oh, I'm ignorant about what Living Tree is at all, so I guess when this email comes out about the code and everything, is it going to explain how we're supposed to use it and what it is? Because it seems like being on the listserv, there are a number of people, and it seems like there are a number of people in this room who are very familiar, so everyone's just talking in jargon, and I may be the only one who's ignorant, but it sounds like there's at least 1 or 2 others. I mean, there are so many communication tools at Keeling already, it sounds like we're just adding 1 more, so it would be really helpful for everyone to understand how we're supposed to be using it.
Right. So when we send out the email, there will also be like a user's guide or whatever along with it. And there are also multiple videos that exist that will help you also understand a little bit better, and we'll be sure that those are made available. I'll just go ahead and say, it appears I need to have a Living Tree feedback forum meeting another time. And I'm honestly, I don't mean for that to belittle that in any way with my tone. I apologize if it did. In case you don't know me well enough to know this yet, I am like a feedback person. That's one reason I ask kids to tell me how orientation went last year. That's just one example. But I do. I want to know what will help everyone's life be easier and better. And it doesn't mean that I can do everything, but I can sure try. And at least do some of it. So I'm sure there may be more and more comments out there, but if I can, I would like to say that I will set a time when you guys can come back and or shoot me emails or whatever about feedback that will help us make it what we need for it to be. But I hate for the rest of our time to be dedicated to Living Tree, if we can maybe have that opportunity at another time.
Any non-Living Tree questions or comments?
You mentioned email. My daughter's just starting the 6th grade, and she doesn't have a personal email account. Is she going to get a Keeling email account?
I believe, yeah, all middle school and high school kids have an AISD email account.
I have a related question. My 7th grader hasn't been able to log in, and it's a cloud thing, to his email, Keeling or AISD Gmail that got set up last year.
Is there a student cloud?
So he used to be able to go to my AISD whatever.
It's quite possible that their password was reset to the default, which is first character, letter of their last name, capitalized, 6-digit date of birth, lowercase s. They would have to change that again here at school to be able to access it.
They should try to access it with the default password at school.
At school, yes. That would be my suggestion, yeah.
All right. I'll be honest. Well, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll be honest. Teams has, lordy. I've learned more about it over this summer than I ever wanted to know, and I still feel like I don't know much. So that's the data system. Yeah.
For the cloud.
Well, they're not exactly the same, but
You end up
anyway. Yeah.
Don't want to know. Is that
Yeah, pretty much. Yes,
My question goes back to what you were talking about, the academy and magnet mixing in electives. Is that, can you give some examples of which electives? Is it just the fine arts? Is it all of the magnet electives? Is
okay. Yeah,
the core classes?
No,
right?
core classes are separate. The electives, all the electives that are magnet electives are, the way that those were presented is, and this is the way it's been for years. It was just communicated a little bit better last year. Any academy kid who is in, like, let's say it's a science elective. If they're in pre-AP science, an academy kid it is okay for them to select a magnet elective as one of their electives. That doesn't mean, it doesn't mean any kid for sure is going to get something just because they selected on their choice sheet, but they do have the opportunity to potentially be in that class. Now, that doesn't mean that magnet kids don't get first priority for those electives. Like, we're not going to say, oh, this class is full to a magnet kid if it's filled with academy kids. I mean, does that make sense? Did I explain that okay? Okay. But our pre-AP kids do have that option. So, like, as I've just kind of scanned through lists of every single roster in the school, as I've just kind of scanned through, I've noticed the majority of the magnet electives are still all magnet. There's a few here and there that there's like at most a handful of academy kids in there. So that's just to give you a feel for what most of the magnet electives are. And then like fine arts and PE and foreign language, and I guess that's sort of our cake classes. Those are whoever's in them.
What's a cake?
Oh, sorry. Cake, career and technology, education. So yeah, and that's like your graphic design and media animation, keyboarding, those
It sounded like, from the way you described it, that there were pre-selected classes that were designated to be both. But what you're saying is it's just that they're open. So they're open if people pick them.
You're asked, okay, pre-selected, yes, for advisories. What we did with advisory is we have one advisory at each grade level, just as like a little pilot, that is blended. So each of our team leaders for Academy and Magnet, our 6th grade team lead for Academy is Mr. Wiggins, Magnet is Ms. Pierce. Their advisories, we made the numbers smaller so that they can combine, and it'll be a blended advisory. So that's the thing we did on purpose and intentionally. And we did that at each grade level. So there's one per grade level that is blended, and we'll kind of see how that goes, see what the feedback is like, and go from there.
Laura?
I was just thinking, why don't you explain for 6th grade parents what advisory, like what they do, maybe a little bit about, you know, the emotional learning.
Sure, sure. So advisory is, every single kid on campus has advisory. And the curriculum for advisory is the same across the board. Advisory meets every Monday and Tuesday. And it's for like, I don't remember exactly how, I want to say it's 30 minutes, maybe 20, 25, somewhere around in there. Every Monday and Tuesday between the first 2 periods of the day. So everybody goes to advisory. The curriculum is your social and emotional learning stuff, character education, note-taking skills, just stuff like that that's going to help kids be successful students, and team building, and I'm drawing a blank of other things to list off. But that's the idea of advisory. So.
And last year, that touring the African cultural that Ms. Lowe was talking about, they did that in advisory. I mean, they walked around and toured and.
I believe you. All right, there you go. Might have been before I was here, or I was in such a fog I didn't know it. But
all right. So in the interest of
really quick question.
Okay.
Schedule changes. In the past, from what I've heard, they've listed 4th period. These are the electives that are available, and how many spots are available, and how many are full or whatever.
Right.
Is that? My son got a class that he didn't sign up for.
Right.
And we're testing it out to see if we're going to stay, but it wasn't one of his interests. So, but I don't want the rest of his schedule messed with. So is that going to happen? Is that a possibility? What does he need to look for?
Yeah, that is going to happen. So far, our counselors have been focusing on hole in the schedule, double scheduled periods, brand new to Keeling. Oh, wow, I don't have a schedule at all. Those big things. Any of our no-shows will be dropped over the weekend. So then on Tuesday, we will have that posted. In fact, we were thinking about posting it today. So I went through and I like to think of it as practice for Tuesday. I went ahead and made that list as of yesterday. Yeah, it was great. But I'll do it again over the weekend. So that on Tuesday we'll have that.
So you post it for the kids to see, and
where?
And
what
they do it. We don't see it, I don't think.
Most likely, somebody told me that in the past they put it on the website as well, just to, which I think
which would be a great idea.
I think it is a little strange and a good idea all at the same time. But yeah, it'll be posted like in common areas, and it'll be obvious.
And then they have when to change it by. What's the...
We're going to have a relatively short timeline, just because, I mean, you can't drag something
Right.
like that on forever. So Tuesday, we were thinking 3 days for forms to be turned in, and then we'll get them all done as fast as we can.
Just one last question, then we have to wrap it up. Is this something related to this?
To that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I have never, my son wants a schedule change this time, which we've never done before. So how is that process? How does that work? He seems to have an idea, but it's different than what I've heard parents say, so I'm thinking it'd be good for me to know so I can correct him if he's wrong.
Yeah, is it like what she was talking about? Like it's just a class he's not too hot about?
Yeah, it's not a huge issue, it's
Okay.
one, yeah.
Yeah, so he can listen for announcements and watch for stuff on Tuesday, and there will be a forum. The current forum for the more serious things is a whole page. We're probably going to cut it down to a half-page form, but he'll just need to snag that form and look for something that's available, the period that he's not happy with, and fill that out and turn it in. And
Okay, so is there a parent involvement in that, or he can do it all on his own?
There will be a parent signature space. Yeah.
And you can request something, but you don't necessarily get it.
Right.
Right. I mean, we certainly can't promise anything, but
That happens in advisory, correct?
it'll be communicated during advisory, and other times as well. So.
Who do they contact? The counselor? Is that for a schedule change? I'm thinking more of a non-elective schedule change. Do they talk to the advisor, or do they go straight to the counselor?
If there's an issue other than I don't like this elective, that's a little more like, let's say you have 4 cores in one day or something like that. We have forms right now that you can fill out. They get turned into the counselor, and the counselors are working through them as fast as they can.
So they can get it from the office, or where do they get it?
Oh, yes, ma'am, in the program office.
In the office.
Yes. Yes.
I have an 8th grader who's been going in and he keeps getting sent back to class, but he got Spanish plus all 4 cores on one day. And so he's trying to get that changed, but he doesn't know what he can switch to, like, how can he get that list?
Yeah, in a situation like that, it's, giving a list isn't really gonna help necessarily, because if you're also moving a core class, you've gotta know which core has spaces, et cetera, et cetera. That's just gonna be a one-on-one with the counselor.
How can I get him help, because he just failed, 3
Dude,
days in a row.
do you know if he filled out the form?
He's filled it out, and he's been to the office multiple times, and he keeps getting sent away.
In general, how do the kids see, or how or when can they see a counselor? Because mine keeps telling me he doesn't have time, which is, sounds like it's related, pretty much.
So right now, counselors we're trying to kind of protect them somewhat because they do have so many things like that to take care of. And they have the forms and they're just working through them. So do you know if a counselor has sent for him?
No, they haven't sent for him. He's gone in there and he got the form and he brought it home and, I signed it. And,
Right.
we talked about what he needed to tell them and he put his reasons on there and he's been in there several times and they were in assembly and they were busy or the bell rang and the person told him to go back to class and I told him, don't go back to class, tell them, no, you're not leaving.
Yeah. So probably shouldn't say this to this many people, but shoot me an email and I'll help.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
We know where you are. Okay, I know it's, we've been here an hour. If y'all give me 10 minutes, I can wrap it up. And we usually try to have you out of here, and we succeed in having you out of here in under an hour, so this is kind of, the first meeting is always a little long. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes, so I can get that taken care of?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Second? Is there any discussion of the minutes, any changes that we need to make? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, that passes. All right, so I'm going to first give the co-chair's report, and I just want to give y'all a general idea about what KMag does. So as I said, we support the Magnet program. We're one of 2 parent organizations on campus. The other is the PTA, that is the whole school. What we mainly do is we get volunteers, organize volunteers for Magnet needs. As you saw from the committee reports, We also do fundraising to take care of the particular needs of the magnet program, and there are a lot of needs. We have, for example, consumable science materials. We fund that, materials for labs. We fund, as well as the PTA funds, a lot of robotics requests. That's something that requires a lot of money. Computer updates, things of that sort. Every year we send 4 teachers from one of the subject matter areas to a national conference. Our teachers have found that the local and state conferences don't really do a whole lot for them. These teachers are really dynamite and really advanced, and so they get a lot out of going to national conferences. So we've sent the foreign language teachers to a national conference. Social studies, math was last year. This year it's the English teachers' turn, so we're going to be sending 4 of them. Where are they going? To DC?
I think so.
Okay, so we'll be sending them in the fall. That's very, very popular among our teachers. They love it. They get a lot out of it. They bring that back and immediately implement it in their classrooms. There are so many things. Basically we just take teacher requests and consider them, and we try to. But it has to be academic. Everything we fund has an academic aspect. So we will be sending out a fundraising letter. I'm happy to report that we almost completely depleted our funds last year, and we like to do that. We like to spend the money that we get and not hold it. We want to get it to where it'll benefit the kids. Last year we had quite a few requests near the end of the year, and since our Ken isn't here, this is sort of a mixed. This is sort of like the treasurer's report. In fact, right now we have $1,700 in our operating account. We have more in our endowment account, but that is something that we're considering for actually something big, and we're kind of taking input from the teachers right now. So our available funds are $1,700. So we will be, when you do get our fundraising letter, if you intend to donate, it would be great if you did it right away so that we could be ready for the requests that are going to start coming in from the teachers.
Amy, would you say, I don't know what portion, but is there a significant amount of materials the teachers in the magnet program use that the budget, the regular school budget's not going to cover? I just assume.
Yes, that's exactly right. What I was talking about, like consumable science materials, right? These are all things that are needed for our special advanced magnet education that AISD can't cover. The science materials, of course, they're not going to pay to send teachers to a national conference. That's just not within the budget. So these are all things that that our program needs that are above and beyond what AISD can provide. Does that answer your question, Melanie? Thank you. So when you get that letter, if you intend to donate, get it done right away, get it off your mind, and then you can tune out all of the reminders that we will send about it. Our meetings are every 2 weeks. They have traditionally been on Thursdays, on the second and fourth Tuesday. I think we might be kind of revising that, but we will let you know. Right now, that's when they're going to be, and we'll have a separate topic every week. We have several topics ready for the fall. It'll meet the counselors. It will be in a few weeks, for example. The counselors will come and tell you all about what they do. We will have in the fall, we'll also have a high school options meeting where we get parents who have kids at the various high schools that magnet students tend to go to, and that I think we're going to do it this year where applications are required. That's going to be our high school option list. And so you'll get to hear from the parent perspective what it's like to go to those different schools. We will, in the spring, for example, have the math teachers in to talk about the math, algebra and the math options coming up. And so we have several kind of topics that recur every year. Our other topics we tend to get from the discussions that we have here when we see what's on people's minds. So if you'll share with us any suggestions you have, topics you'd like to see, we're happy to, that's what we need to do. We're here to serve you and to get the information out that you need. All right, I wanted to talk, just give you, I wanted to tell you what we funded at the end of last year to update you on that. I think this will give you an idea about what the money goes to. At the end of the year, we gave $750 for Inkblot, which is our student-produced, national award-winning literary magazine that's published every year. We paid for the web hosting for First Hand History Project, which is the social justice project that the 7th graders do. It's an oral history project, and their oral history things are on this website for all to see. We approved the money for the English teachers to go to their national conference. That's $4,600, so that's a big chunk. And the teachers are extremely frugal with their travel, and we appreciate that. And this is something a little different, but these are the type of things that we come up that we really like to have the opportunity to fund. Ms. Pierce, who is a 6th grade science teacher, and she also has an elective called Destination Mars, had an opportunity to go to a symposium in Arizona that was put on jointly by Arizona State University and NASA. And it was for teachers, and it was a week-long workshop, and the topic was searching for extraterrestrial life. And she sent me an email here about how much she appreciated the opportunity to do this. The symposium was free, so we paid for her lodging and gas money. She drove out there. Again, an example of how frugal the teachers are in their requests. They went to visit several sites in Arizona that were analogs of extraterrestrial sites, as Ms. Pierce put it, and they learned about searching for evidence of current and past life by examining these places. The symposium was supported by NASA, and several high-ranking NASA personnel were there, including the lead NASA geologist for the Mars Science Laboratory mission. She said she learned so much and brought back things that she's going to use in her 6th grade science classes and use in her Destination Mars elective. So, I mean, we were very excited to be able to send her to do this. So that's an example of where your money will be going. That is all I have. So now we move to the PTA report. Laura, are you going to do that, or is Kristen here?
So I'm
Okay.
Carlo.
This is our last item.
Oh, am I supposed to edit? And PTA is for the whole school. So if you haven't already become a member, it's only $8, and you can easily become a member through healingpta.org. And the whole point of PTA here is to do whole school events, activities, raise money to be spent on the same types of things as she was just talking about. We actually started a new fundraiser 3 years ago, Healing Center Stage, which will be this spring again, and it's a big thing with bands and food and all that, and we've started raising, it raises over $20,000, so we actually now are able to give so much more to the teachers. And so we have actually in our budget $20,000 that we give, and many of them are the neighborhood teachers, the academy teachers that we're able to send to conferences like the magnet teachers can go to, and we're able to send them on field trips. Some of the academy kids haven't gotten to go on all the really cool field trips like the magnet kids do. So we're, PTA is really working on whole school things. We do a dance, we sell spirit wear, we have the t-shirts, you know, if you haven't gotten a Keeling shirt yet, you can buy one at Back to School Night, you can buy one on our website. Thank you to Gita for putting up all the pictures on our website. You can just click and get one of those, and we don't have a delivery system exactly, so we figure that out with the kids get it through school. We also do ground stuff. I don't know if anybody was able, any of you were, I don't think any of you were able to come to the grounds day this Saturday, but and then we had the pool party Saturday evening. So we do things that are for the whole school and that are to build community as well as to benefit, you know, the teachers and the kids and parents. And we are going to be having a general meeting every first Thursday of the month, mostly, like January's is pushed because of the schedule of the holiday and all that. But our first general meeting is next Thursday, September 4th at 7:30. So you could just kind of think about Thursday mornings at 7:30, you could just come to the library. Because the second and fourth Thursdays are KMag, and then the first Thursday will be PTA. And the meetings aren't very long. It'll probably be about 30 to 45 minutes. And the first one is Keeling 101. So teaching you more things that you didn't learn today. You can ask questions, you can find out things from the other parents. Things like that. And we are going to be doing, in conjunction with KMag, PTA and KMag work together. And so in December, we'll be doing the high school options meeting. That's going to be a joint meeting that she already talked about. So let's see. Next Thursday, we are in need of 2 more people for our board. We need a second. We already have Lynn Boswell as an ACPTA representative, the Austin Council of PTA's representative, from Keeling to the general council, all of Austin. We need a second person. So if anybody's interested in that, and then
if anyone's interested, you can come talk to me about what is involved.
Yeah, great. Yeah, talk to Lynn or talk to me. I'm actually a part of Austin Council of PTA as well through the vertical team coordinator from McAllen, vertical team actually. And so then we also need a parliamentarian. And a parliamentarian is the person that keeps us in order with Robert's Rules of Orders, Robert, whatever. And make sure that everybody has a say and that we're following the way we're supposed to. Let's see, I think that's about it. I'm trying to be as fast as possible. Thank you to the people who came on the first day of school. That Million Father March was really cool. This place was filled with dads and whoever else, maybe uncles, grandparents, but also moms, of course, too, were here. And and Richard Barner spoke about Keeling Men, the program we have for mentoring. So many things. I didn't touch on everything PTA does. It's so critical that we all become members, not just for the $8 membership or for your extra money that often people donate, but just for the idea of working together and having the presence here at Keeling. I think is so critical. So if anybody has questions, just ask me afterwards, so we don't.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you all for coming and staying. Sorry we were a little long here, but we're adjourned. Thanks so much.